It was quiet, too quiet. I didn't know how long I had been sitting there, staring at the phone screen in my hand. The message had come in at 10:42 p.m. Just a line of text, simple, direct. "I know what you've been doing. Don't show up tomorrow." I should have been angry, confused, but I felt nothing. No regret, no disbelief, just nothing. In the pit of my stomach, there was something colder, hunger. Like a door just opening in my mind, and behind it, a darker part of me emerging. Tomorrow. That's when the trap would snap. But I hadn't yet decided how or when to set it. This would be the last Thanksgiving I spent with her family. I had known it the second my wife's sister, Megan, had whispered that line into my ear earlier that evening. "You're just jealous of my boyfriend because he's richer than you." I'd smiled, a smile like steel, a smile that could cut you open. Then let him pay the $12,600. I had been counting the minutes, the seconds, until that line would finally matter. Now, as the message buzzed again, I could almost hear her voice, sweet and venomous, in my ear. "You won't make it through the night." I wasn't sure if she was talking about the evening or me. I would know soon enough. The first crack in the facade came 2 months ago, but it was so small, I almost missed it. Megan's boyfriend, Henry, an arrogant, self-absorbed trust fund brat, had started staying over more often. My wife had said nothing, only nodded when I mentioned it. But I had seen her face, the way her eyes glazed over when he walked into the room. She never touched me the same after that. I noticed how Megan would look at me, as if testing me, seeing if I knew. The house felt different too, no longer the home I'd worked so hard for. Something had shifted, and it wasn't just the luxury of the dinner table, the overpriced wine, the guests. It was them. I had begun watching, quietly, carefully, the little things that didn't add up. A late-night phone call, the half-smile she gave Henry when I wasn't looking, the way he stood too close to her, his hand lingering on her back like a claim. They didn't think I saw, but I knew. There had been another message, weeks before. "Your wife and I are done pretending. It's time you knew." And there it was, the truth. The investigation had started small, a missed call here, a long silence there, nothing too obvious. I kept my emotions in check, never letting them show. That's how it's done. I bought the DNA test kits on a whim, curiosity maybe. But then I realized I was setting a trap. No one could deny the results, the paternity results. The pregnancy test I'd found, tucked in the back of the closet. My wife's reaction when I mentioned it. That telltale moment of hesitation. I didn't confront her, not yet. I didn't need to. I kept calm. On the surface, I played the role, husband, provider. At night, when the house was asleep, I did my work. Phone records, a final confirmation of the secret meeting. Megan's boyfriend, Henry, had been involved. He had known. They had planned this from the start. And then came the final piece, the money. $12,600. That was the final betrayal, the money my wife had promised to repay me. For the house repairs, for everything. The money I'd covered when she had claimed it was lost in a mess of paperwork. But it wasn't lost. It had been spent. By her. The results came in the next morning. I didn't act immediately. I waited. Patience. I waited for the perfect moment. It came when Henry showed up at the door. I hadn't seen him before today. He was always lurking in the background, smiling, always making jokes, always pretending to be the good guy. But today, he stood there in my doorway, looking at me with that look, the one that said he thought he'd won. I didn't react at first. I just handed him the envelope. "Take a look," I said, my voice like ice. "You might find something interesting inside." His eyes flickered to the envelope, then to me. "What's this?" he asked, his confidence slipping just a bit. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. When he opened it, I saw his eyes widen. The blood drained from his face. It was the paternity test. The child was his. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. "Do you have something to say?" I asked, my voice low, even. Henry's mouth opened, but no words came out. The man who had been so sure of himself, who had walked into my life like he owned it, was now nothing but a shell. The silence hung in the air for what felt like eternity. It was done. I didn't need to say another word. I just turned away and started packing. My wife's cries were distant. Her sister, Megan, pleading with me in vain as I walked out of the door. I didn't care. When I left everything behind. The house, the lies, the woman who thought she could control me. It wasn't revenge. It was simply a return to control. By the time I reached the door, I realized something. The only thing more dangerous than a man who has nothing left to lose is one who never had anything to begin with. And as I stepped out of the house, closing the door behind me, I realized that I had never been part of that family.